What's happening? What is up, everybody?
Hello. Happy Mother's Day. So all you mothers out there.
Say hi to your mothers for me. Ah!
Don't get that reference.
Well, somebody out there, I bet somebody out there does. Actually, so we're live from Rhode Island right now, guys. And while we've been here, Vicki and I have joined a hockey team. As you can see, we've got our Warwick, Rhode Island hockey jerseys, everybody. Gonna go
I'll give you one guess.
Gonna go get some hot wieners, eat some lobster rolls. Come on.
I got my Dunkin'.
Anyway, what is happening? We've been here for a few days. I don't know. I think you're the only one that's been putting anything up on the interwebs.
Yeah, I put a couple of pictures up on Instagram here and there, but that's about it. We've been having too much fun to take a lot of pictures or really do much on social media. So I haven't done a whole heck of a lot been on Facebook or anything like that. So that's about it, you know.
That's about it. Sorry, I'm gonna try to get this up here on the screen here because I need to be able to see it here. It helps me a lot better. And here we are. So I know we're probably gonna have less people than we normally do. Because we're at a different time. We're a lot earlier. It's Sunday morning. It's Mother's Day, blah, blah, blah. But we appreciate all of you guys that did come out. But see, they like our hockey jerseys.
I know. Listen, I'm wearing something from the first store that hasn't been washed. You all know how I am when she tries to put this stuff near my face that hasn't been washed.
I'm pretty sure mine might have some blood on it. So.
Oh, that's great.
It's like super, so you probably can't see behind us because it's a little bit bright, but it's super overcast and rainy today, which is pretty much what the rest of our time here is going to be. But yesterday we did have like really nice weather.
Yesterday was fantastic. It was like mid 70s, bright and sunny, which is perfect May, spring New England weather that you have for about 5 seconds. And in true typical Rhode Island fashion, it lasted one day. So in the 5.5 days that we're here, we had one day of nice weather. And that's pretty much it. And then the rest of it is going to be like shit, like today. Rain, cold.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, Jen, we are enjoying our lobster rolls. I had a lobster roll. I had a whole lobster last night.
Big, huge steamed lobster. If you look at my picture I put on Instagram, she had the lobster bib and everything. Yeah. Ridiculous.
We had shrimp. We had steamers. Well,
cool hogs.
Yeah, we went and had breakfast today with some friends, and I had the eggs Benedicts, but I got them with crab cakes, and they were real good. So I'm just trying to get as much of the
seafoods,
pretty much
in my face as possible.
So right now we're technically in Cranston. But we're kind of visiting, I guess, I don't know, the West Warwick area.
Yeah, so I'm from West Warwick, and my best friend, West Warwick. My best friend is also from West Warwick, but he lives in Cranston now as adults. Our parents live next door to each other. He's been my best friend my whole life, and that's who I always stay with. Now we stay with when I visit Rhode Island. So we're here, and his roommate Richard, our friend Richard, is
he's our live studio
audience laughing at us. So we were staying in Cranston, and we kind of pretty much doing the whole Rhode Island tour. And those of you that know Rhode Island know that's not a really big tour. It's a very small state. Yeah. So we've been spending time with friends here and there doing the food tour. And today we have a cookout, which is clearly a cook-in.
Yep, pretty much.
This afternoon at a friend's house where we're having a bunch of friends come. We actually have our friend Pam, who is a member of the Boss Group, who lives in Connecticut. Her and her fiance are driving from Connecticut to come to the cookout at my friend's house.
So I actually get to meet her in person for the first time. You've met her before, but I haven't. Yeah, Jen says, I love the way East Coast peeps talk. That sounds Southern. How do you say talk?
Talk.
Add a W. Me too.
Add a W. Talk.
I love it. And she says, oh, you're making fun of me. I'm like, I'm not making fun of you. I just love accents. So whenever somebody says something different, I want to say it over and over again. And I think it's funny and fun. But I'm definitely not making fun of you.
No.
I just think it's funny. And but yeah, we have it. The one thing we haven't had yet is hot wieners, gagas, which I don't know if you guys know what hot wieners are, but they're really just Rhode Island, aren't they?
Yeah, they're kind of like a red, soggy, they call it a soggy hot dog. It's you know.
It's like a hot, she always acts like it's so different. It's a hot dog.
Well, if you had it without the stuff on it, it does taste different.
But it's basically like a hot dog.
They snap. They're crisp and they snap. That's the thing. Once they're boiled, they will still snap. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
They're basically, they're more or less a regular hot dog, but what makes
They're
them
probably
different,
not as regulated. The difference is that they probably have more lips and hooves in them than the rest of them. I don't know.
No, the big difference is they put a meat sauce on them. So it's like, so you get your hot dog, and I think they do onions usually, right? What is it when you get everything on it?
It's a meat sauce with hot dog with diced onions and celery salt. That's
so it's diced onions, and then it's like, so basically it's like a weird hamburger meat sauce. I don't even know how to describe it. They put that on top, and then celery
salt. It's the celery salt that does it. That's more than anything else.
And the meat sauce. Like, he's like, oh, I'm going to have my hot dog with some meat sauce on it.
Mm-hmm. And then you have like French fries, and then you have to have coffee milk or coffee milk.
Coffee milk.
That's kind of the thing.
Yeah. But, so I haven't had my hot wieners yet. Hot wieners. The only other thing is party pizza, which you've heard me rant about it before, but I'm pretty sure somebody's going to think it's real funny to bring party pizza to the cooking.
Oh, they will. Someone's bringing party pizza today.
Yeah, so I'll make sure that if they have it, I'll get a picture of me eating some
party pizza that is not pizza.
It's not pizza, guys. There's
Katie has liked everything I've made her eat that we've tried here except party pizza. She's like, I don't know.
No. Party pizza's okay. Party pizza's okay if you're like, I'm going to have some cold bread with sauce on it. It's not party pizza. It's cold with no cheese. There's nothing party about it. There's nothing pizza about it. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm just not, I'm not going to go out of my way to get it.
Jean is correct. It's autocrat coffee milk. Yeah. So we have some New Englanders watching for sure. And Kara says pisses. Well, Wicked Pissa. Wicked Piss is more Massachusetts than Rhode Island, but I say Wicked a lot. So
but that's like 5 minutes away. So
yeah,
whatever.
Pretty much.
But that's what's great about, on the East Coast is that the dialects, the accents are different from like this geographical area and then this area that's like 20 minutes away. Like I went to grad school in New York City and I lived in Brooklyn, went to school in Manhattan. And it's like, the Staten Island accent is different from the Brooklyn accent, is different from the Queens accent. It's just, but it's all these people in the same area.
Pat Norman says in New York, it's called tomato pie, Katie, and it's awesome. So,
all right, see, tomato pie, at least you're being a little more honest, okay? Okay? Pizza, party pizza. There's no party. That's a sad party. It's like nobody ever said like, hey, you know what? We should put cheese on this pizza. And then it's going to be a real pizza. That's what I say.
And put it in the oven.
Yeah, put it in the oven, maybe. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that you don't buy it at the pizza store. You buy it at like the bakery, and it's just cold. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's true. We all love it.
Richard loves it.
Sorry, it's good.
It's okay. Just quit calling it pizza because that's not what it is. Anyway, so we haven't done a lot of sourcing. We went on Friday. We went to One Savers, and I think you pretty much got nothing there. You got like a couple of things maybe for yourself, or I don't know what.
I got about 6 things total so far.
At the first one. The first one, I didn't get anything to sell, but I did get some stuff to trade in. And then we really haven't had like a ton of time to source, and that's not really what our focus is. But then yesterday, we didn't have a lot going on. Yesterday was the one day where the weather outside was amazing, and it was like super sunny and beautiful. And so we went to Savers and
Salvation Army.
And she even took me to Newbury Comics, which was shocking. It was her idea, which it's a comic book store, but they also sell records, music, movies, and stuff. And so I got a couple of records that I got to resell though. So I actually did find a few things to resell yesterday, and you did too. So we don't really have a lot as far as a haul goes. And we're probably going to do more sourcing tomorrow because we're going to be meeting up with Diane and Trish before we do the meetup. And so we should get to do a little bit of Massachusetts
style sourcing. Yeah, I'm going to call Diane when we finish the show and figure out what time we're meeting up tomorrow.
Yeah. So today we're going to do, it's kind of a truncated version of our show. We don't have the full on numbers to show you, but we're going to give you what our gross numbers are. And then what our net is based on what we usually net off of our sales.
Yeah, you're not going to get the full filled out form this week. No. Sorry, guys.
No. Yeah,
this is the truncated vacation version.
Yeah.
The on-location version.
So, and then we'll be showing some sales highlights. We do have some sales highlights from this last week. And then we'll do our little, it's really more like a mini haul. We don't have time.
Kara asked, are we near a dump that has a free sourcing building? No, there's actually only one dump in Rhode Island, and I'm pretty sure it's not open to the public.
What's a free sourcing building?
I've never heard anything of that.
I don't understand what that means.
I don't know.
Like what? They pull stuff out of the dump that's...
List perfectly. So DePaul Mary's in Johnston is the absolute best party pizza, and someone else made a comment.
Richard says yes.
That's absolutely true. So the party that we're going to, I'm hoping somebody picks it up from DePaul Mary's. They have the best party pizza, and they're also pizza chips from Paul Mary's. You know what I'm talking about. Those pizza chips are fantastic. Yeah. Those are the best.
Grandma Cheap says we're all twinning with our shirts. Yeah, I was actually really excited. I thought it was funny because they're Rhode Island, they're Warwick, Rhode Island.
It's
hockey
probably
jerseys.
either a men's hockey league or like a high school.
They are actually vintage, so I will be selling these. But I just thought it was funny that there were two of them. So I somehow convinced her to put on some of these dirty old jerseys from the thrift store.
It's gross. It's gross. I'm so skeeved right now. You have no idea. I feel like there's bugs crawling on me. I need to have a shower.
Yeah.
So we've already been out. We went out and met some friends for breakfast, and now we're back. It is what time is it? It's 12 o'clock, 12:15 here. I haven't changed the clock on my computer. Sorry, so I'm looking at it. It still says 9:15.
Yeah. Allison, I'm pretty sure my jersey does have a blood stain on it, so I like to think somebody got in a wicked awesome hockey fight.
That was good.
Huh?
That was good.
Huh?
Right?
A wicked awesome hockey fight, guys.
Wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome, and then went out and had some hot wieners afterwards.
Somehow, every time you say hot wieners, it sounds dirty. She doesn't say it. Hot wieners. She gives it like a dirty inflection.
I like my hot wieners with a meat sauce on top.
All right, stop. Just stop. Yeah, Rita, I am itchy. Seriously, I feel like I'm itchy.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so do we want to do our so let's do our numbers first. What do you got?
Sure.
What do you got?
So, okay, quick rundown. I had 51 sales on eBay. Now, mind you, we left on Thursday and our stores have been on vacation since Wednesday with an extended handling time, not vacation, but 5 to 6 day handling time. So definitely sales have slowed toward the latter part of the week. So I had 51 sales on eBay.
Oh, wait, Lisa said that she didn't think I liked wieners. Listen, I'm in a different zip code. It doesn't count. So I like my hot wieners and gaggers.
Oh, jeez. Just stop. Stop.
Go ahead.
I had 51 sales on eBay for $1,966 and 4 sales on Etsy for $295. For total sales of 55 sales for $2,260. And if I use a 65% net profit, which is pretty much where we usually are, where I usually have a 65%, it's just under $1,500, about $1,470 net and a $41 average sale price.
Yep. So it's funny because our numbers are super, super close for this last week. We're trying to twin it up all the way this time. My eBay sales, I sold 32 items for $1,938. Etsy, I had 11 items for a total of $455. So I sold 43 items this last week. And my total comes out to $2,393. But I do a 60% net is usually because I tend to spend up a little bit more for my stuff. And so my net ended up being $1,435.71. So I'm
we have a difference of about $35.
Yeah, like she did about $30 more than me. My average sale price is up there, $55.65, which is exactly where I like to be. I like to stay over $50. So I'm pretty happy with those numbers. Dorothy said, I just heard Kara behind her computer. Oh my. Anyway, so those are our numbers. So do you want to go ahead and share? Now this is where, because we don't have the double screen, this is where
okay, we're going to share the screen.
I share, and for a second it's going to go and go all crazy. So let's see.
We're going to do some of the highlights of our solds for the week.
We're going to see it goes, whoa. All right. Ooh, you got an offer. What about that? Ooh, look at that. You got 2 offers.
Ooh, go me.
Very popular.
Right, okay. So I sold this robe, just satin robe. I had picked up for around $5 at Savers. Sold for the price you see there for $65. Free shipping, first class. I did use a stock photo because this item is no longer sold. So I did use a stock photo.
But you use a stock photo and then you have your actual pictures.
Yeah.
There are some people who will use stock photos and that's the only picture you get, which is just obnoxious, I think.
Yeah, sometimes I use it because it's one of those things that it's very difficult to show kind of exactly what it looks like. And the stock photo does help you show it a little better.
All right, you done with that one?
Yeah.
All right, so my next one is this Adidas Originals track jacket. Now, when I got this, we got this at Savers last week, and it was absolutely filthy. Like, one sleeve was so bad, and they had it priced at like $15 or $16. And so I actually went up at Savers and I asked them if they would be willing to negotiate on the price a little bit, or bring the price down. You can see there, there's a little tiny stain there. but really not bad. But I ended up soaking it in OxyClean for like 12 hours. But anyway, they had it priced at like $15.99. I got them to bring it down to $9.99, and I had 25% off. So I got it for like $7.50. Most of the stains came out. I listed it, and within a couple of days, I had somebody making offers, and I ended up just selling. I sold it to a guy for $100 because I think it was like while we had just started traveling, and I was just like, I just wanted to get some sales. So I sold it for $100. And I paid $7.50 for it. So, and it was a size 4XL, so it was a good size.
And you flipped it within like
it was just a
2
few
days.
It was a few days, so I was happy with that, considering it was stained.
Yep. So this is another pickup. I picked these up at Goodwill. I had paid $12.99 for them, which was an unheard of price, but they had to have Doc Martens priced at $12.99. So these used Docs, they're well broken in, but absolutely not
People like that.
Not trashed by any means. And they sold on sale for $63. They were not a huge size, so I was able to ship those at cubic. So
Nice.
pirate ship cubic rate 0.2, so they shipped for $8.92, even though I did free shipping.
All right. This McDonald's jacket, if you remember, I think I showed this last week in my haul.
I think it was last week. You sold it within a day.
Oh yeah, I got this. I bought a whole bunch of stuff at Buffalo Exchange last week, and this was one of those items. It's a vintage 80s chalk line satin bomber jacket, and it's got McDonald's on it. And so I think it was less than $20 I paid for it. And I went back and forth with a guy who made some offers, and I ended up selling it for $85. And so yeah, I had it listed for maybe a day.
So Lisa has a question about the shoes. Did I put them in a poly bag? Yes, they were. I wrapped them in saran, so they kind of stay as a tight, like smushed package, the Docs. And then I put them in a poly bag.
Yeah, that way they can't get damaged when they're traveling.
And they don't really the eyelets aren't going to rub against the poly bag and, maybe rip it open or anything like that.
Yep. All right, next one for you.
So this I did show in a haul a few weeks ago. Katie actually found this when we were out garage.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So this sold for the price that you see there. I paid $20 for this at a garage sale, but it was new in the box. It had never been used. And I did charge the buyer shipping. And it sold to California, so it'll actually cost me less than that to ship. I haven't shipped it out yet because we, are on vacation. But it sold for $97.97. So it was.
So you paid $20 for it?
Paid $20, and
Nice.
They paid $20 shipping. It'll probably cost about $10 shipping or so.
Yeah.
Because it's one state over.
I love selling stuff to California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shoes. Alexa says shoes do fine in the poly bag. They really do. And honestly, I always wrap it. If you look down below in the description of this video, we have the links to the different stuff that we use. And I have the link to the poly or the saran wrap type, whatever shrink wrap stuff that I get. And it'll last forever. And I do that with all my shoes. It really I like to have them in a compact little package when I put them into the poly bag, so they're not just bouncing around in there and getting squished or whatever.
The only shoes that I won't ship in a poly bag is anything that is super delicate, like a kitten heel or a stiletto heel or something that has the ability to maybe snap off. But sneakers, boots, flats, anything like that, I'll ship in a poly bag because frankly, unless you're shipping it in the original shipping box and they're brand new, that's how you're going to get them from somebody else too.
I've never had a complaint. I've been doing it for a long time. All right, so this is a Nautica Competition down puffer jacket, and I actually bought this from Barry like a week and a half ago or so, or last week. And I bought a bunch of jackets for him. I think I averaged like $40. I think I paid $250 for a number of jackets. So the average price I paid for all of them was $40 a piece. But this jacket, I had it listed for a few days, I think. And somebody sent me an offer for $145. It's one of those offers that you love because it was priced at $154. So I was like, yeah, I'll take $145. So sold that. I think it was last week and I sold it and shipped it out before we left, but it's just a really nice vintage 90s Nautica jacket. So always love the down. And the great thing about the down is you can squish it down and it went in a padded flat rate.
Well, you squished the heck out of that.
Well, down jacket, the ones that are really, they're really easy to squish down. Next one for you.
Okay, so I've had this one listed for a bit, maybe a few months. I think I paid up for this one. If what I can recall, I paid around $20 to $25 for this one, but I knew that it was a good jacket. Missing the belt, but it is a true vintage 60s. It's in excellent shape for a heavy Harley jacket. And this sold for, I took an offer for $145. I was pretty happy with that. I paid between $20 and $25. I paid for it.
Yeah, that's really nice. I like it, like it. All right, this one's kind of funny. So this Laughlin River Days t-shirt, 1984 Ringer t-shirt. I listed this, I don't remember what day it was, but I listed it. It was like the last thing I listed that night. I think you'd given up working for the day and you were like in the bedroom reading. And I listed this, and within 5 minutes, it sold. Like I listed it and I cross-posted on Etsy all at the same time. And then all of a sudden it said it sold for $69.99. So I priced it at $69.99 on eBay, and it was going to go on sale, like roll into the sale I had, and it would be $48.99. So I had it listed on Etsy for $47.99. It sold on eBay. I went over to Etsy to end the listing there and saw that it had sold on Etsy as well. So it sold simultaneously immediately after listing it. Of course, I went and I canceled the one on Etsy because you get a defect if you cancel on eBay, but not on Etsy. So I canceled the one on Etsy. And also I was like, I wonder if it's the same person. Like they thought I had two of them or something, but nope.
Because that's happened to me like once. Somebody bought from the same platform within 5 minutes.
But to have just listed it on both platforms and have it sell immediately. So I sold it, or I canceled the one on Etsy. Then the guy messages me and asks me why I canceled it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's no longer available. It already sold to somebody else. And so then he starts like telling me like, oh, I'll pay $100 for it. And I'm like, nope, sorry. And then he's like asking for like the information of the person that bought it, so like he could contact them and buy it from them. And then he was trying to like give me $300, and I'm like, are you serious? And it was just ridiculous. So anyway,
he wasn't really serious.
He wasn't serious, because then he was like, okay, well maybe $250, and I'm like, no. Anyway, it was just nuts. I don't know. I was like, did I make a mistake? I went and like looked at like any Laughlin vintage t-shirt. I'm like, is there like some secret market I don't know about beyond the fact that it's just a cool
Laughlin is like an offshoot of Las Vegas. It is like this little white trashy mini Las Vegas casino area about an hour outside of Las Vegas. And it's like, it's like where like people that used to gamble in Las Vegas go to die. It's like this little itty bitty area that I don't even know. They're known for having this Laughlin River Days, which is
happening like this week, right?
Which is happens around this time of the year. And they also have a motorcycle rally. They have like a motorcycle run every year. So it's like two big things they do per year. But other than that, it's not like a tourist destination or anything. It's really weird. I don't know why that was so popular, but
you know what, honestly, Alexis, because here the thing is they bought them at the same time. So it wasn't like I felt like, oh, I have to honor eBay over Etsy because they bought it first. It was like they literally bought it at the exact same time. The only reason I was canceling on Etsy was because of eBay giving a defect. So when he said $300, I like looked at Vicky and I'm like, do you think I should take the defect? Because I've never canceled a sale. And she was like, I don't know, maybe. And so when I said,
I totally would have taken a defect.
So I sent him a message and I was like, well, if you really want 300 or want to pay 300, if you're really serious. And then he was like, oh, I thought you said you sold it. And I'm like, okay, buddy. And then he was like, how about 250 then? And I'm like, all right, he's just jerking me around. And so then I was just like, never mind. And I stopped responding to him. So I did briefly consider.
I would have done
taken the defect for 300.
I would have taken the defect for 300. It's not something you do all the time. You can get away with one defect on your account.
But. Yeah. So anyway, next one for you.
This is the ever-selling Lululemon that I picked up at when we were in Salem in Oregon. We picked up in February. I paid $8. It sold for, I took an offer for $120.
Nice.
And it first class because it's, again, squishable down. So first class free shipping. So somewhere around $5 to ship it.
You know, Allison says that she thinks the Budweiser may have something to do with a t-shirt. The thing is, like, I have vintage 80s Budweiser dead stock t-shirts and they haven't sold. So it was just crazy that it was like they wanted to pay a crazy amount of money for it. But anyway, anything else with this one?
No, just a nice Lululemon vest.
All right,
I love that Lululemon crap. I don't get it.
I have this Woolrich wool hunting jacket made in the US. I didn't know exactly, like, I couldn't figure out the exact date for this this label. I know it's not like a super old one, so I put on an 80s, 90s because I don't think
I think the sheep is 80s personally.
Well, but it's the sheep is, if you look at the old, and Allison can back me up on this, if you look at old Woolrich labels, the sheep goes way, way, way back, just in different styles.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is kind of like almost like a retro tag. So I'm leaning more towards it's probably 90s. I'm pretty sure it's 90s, but anyway, so it is made in the US, so I don't think it's into the 2000s or anything like that. But anyway, I listed this. It was listed for maybe a day and a half. And just before we left, I sold it for my full asking sale price of $210. I told Vicky, she's like, what? But yeah, I would say probably, I think it's probably 90s, but we'll see if Allison has any thoughts on that. But
yeah, I mean, I've been to the Laughlin, they call it the River Run, is what they call the motorcycle event as well. I've been to that. I've stayed in Laughlin for a few days for that with a bunch of friends for Bike Week, which is a blast. But yeah, I don't understand what the popularity was with that t-shirt.
I mean, they must have had like alerts set up. I guess 2 different people had alerts set up on both platforms.
It happened so quickly.
I don't know how they would find it so fast, but it was pretty cool. Anyway, guys, I always like the buffalo plaid stuff like this, and if you can get it from Woolwich, that's even better. Or if it was Filson, I don't know. That would have been awesome.
I still have never found Filson.
Well, that's not really one you find very often.
So anyway. There's not a lot of outdoor woodsy people in Vegas for me to find.
I mean, in Oregon, I only ever found it once. Allison has a lot more luck with it up in Alaska.
So I've had just a few sales. What did I say? I had 4 or 5 sales, 4 sales on Etsy this past week. This was one of my better sales on Etsy. These were listed for only about a week. 1970s beetle boots, as they call them. Photos are pretty clear about the condition. They sold for, let's see. Look it up over here. I paid $5 at a garage sale for them, by the way.
What is that?
That's not that.
Come on. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to copy this. There we go. You sold it for
$79.95 plus I charge shipping on Etsy, so I charged $10 to ship.
Very good, very good. All right, so my last one is this T-shirt that I got. I actually bought this. I sourced this on eBay. I think somebody had posted on Instagram like some really cool vintage skiing T-shirt, and so it made me super jealous because I hadn't found any in a few weeks. So I went on eBay and did like a search for vintage skiing T-shirts, and I ended up buying like 3 or 4 of them from different sellers. And so I went ahead and bought this one. I paid, I think I paid it was like $10 and then $4 shipping. So I paid like $14 for this T-shirt. And then I listed it on eBay and on Etsy. And see, this is where you can totally source on eBay because people, underprice stuff. And I sold it for $47.99. And it went to somebody who lives in Killington, Vermont. So I paid $14 for it and sold it for $48. I've had it listed for about a month. So it really didn't take that long. I think it's an awesome T-shirt. So, all right, I think that's all. Let's go ahead and stop sharing.
This is fast for us, guys. We're like at half an hour into the show and we're already going to get into our little haul video. This is impressive. I'm impressed with this.
Impressive. All right. I guess we don't really need this anymore then.
Yeah. That buffalo check is trending, Grandma Cheap Sheep says. Yeah, I don't know that buffalo plaid has ever really gone away. It's kind of always been. Look at Katie with her buffalo plaid hat. I don't think that has ever not been in fashion, depending on how you find it, like what type of shirt and stuff like that. But right now, definitely still through this past winter. And I think it's going to continue for the next couple of years is the whole 90s grunge trend is definitely back. The ripped jeans, the baggier jeans look, the high-waisted thing with for women, which was never a good look. I'm sorry, still wasn't then, isn't now, but whatever. And the like buffalo plaid and
the buffalo that Woolrich jacket though, it went to some guy in Texas, and so I'm leaning more farm than grunge, but because he was like some guy in Texas and he had like an old man name. He did not sound like somebody who
had an old man name.
Old man name. I will say what it was, but
it was like Ernest.
It was seriously though. It was like I think I even told you I was like, hey, I sold that buffalo plaid to a guy in Texas named blah blah blah, and you were like, okay, like you didn't really seem that interested or impressed, but whatever. Welcome to my life.
Always. Listen, you guys only have to listen to it twice a week. I listen to it daily.
How rude! Yeah, this is like my Elmer Fudd hat. That's what we call it. Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, Alexa, seriously, it's like the high-waisted jeans. I'm sorry. We all wore them in the 90s, right? If you're a woman, you wore them in the 90s. The mom jeans, that whole thing, definitely still in. But let's face it, we are all moms or grandmas at this point for
Not
the
me,
most part.
speak for yourself.
For the most part. And they just don't look good on the mom bod. They looked good when you were 95 pounds and 16 years old and you had a little flat belly and tiny little legs. They don't look good if you weigh more than 95 pounds. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. You can argue with me all day long. It's not a flattering look unless you're a twig.
I will. Brenda's dad's name was Ernest. Well, your dad was your
My
dad
grandpa's
old?
name was
See?
Russell. Old. It's an old man name.
Yeah, it is an old man name. But you know what? I love it when people name their kids old lady and old man names.
I was named
Much better than the whole trend of like making up your kid's name. Like, go for a classic.
I was named after my great grandmother and my grandmother,
Yeah.
the Victoria. That's I have an old lady name.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
If I had had a boy, my son's name would have been Russell.
Yeah, see, Chris, better than the super low rise with the muffin top.
I agree with you, Chris. I agree. I'd rather wear the high waist than to have the muffin top. So
yeah, for sure. All right, so you want to show some of the stuff that you got, or do you want me to start?
Yeah, you can start. I don't have anything super exciting. Sorry, guys, no hard goods from me because I didn't want to ship anything home. I apologize. I only have clothing this time and nothing super exciting. We did only, like I said, we've only hit 2 stores and three stores, but the haul's a little bit minimal. So
I was telling her, I was like, man, I'm so glad we don't live here as far as sourcing goes, because it's just, I mean, there's a couple of savers. I think if I did live here, I probably would go to Boston at least once every couple of weeks or something, because it's not that far. I mean, it's like an hour and a half from here
with traffic. Yeah.
But they do have 2 Buffalo exchanges, and I'm sure they have like a bunch of other thrift stores. So that's probably what I would have to do. But man, the savers here, I found some good stuff, but I don't find that when we went last year as well, I don't find that I find as much good stuff here. And their Salvation Army, much like the Salvation Armies in Vegas, are horrible. It's kind of like nothing there. It's like very, very little.
And when I lived here, I didn't source clothes, so I didn't go to thrift stores. I didn't sell clothing. I only sold antiques and collectibles, and that they're plentiful here. Yeah. So I used to always go to auctions, and I used to get great stuff. So here,
yeah. Now the reality is, lately over the past like couple of months, I've been doing a lot more sourcing from other people, other thrifters. And so, and I have like a couple of different sources that I do bulk buys online. So really the reality is now I probably would be okay if we had, for some reason, like we decided we wanted to live here, because I do a lot of online sourcing, and I would, like I said, I would be able to go like maybe every couple of weeks to Boston or something like that. But
I don't want to move back here.
I know. I don't want to move here. But my point is that, you know, I could totally get, like, depending on where you live, sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult to source. But if you're one of those people that live somewhere where you don't have a lot of stores around you to source at, pay attention over the next few weeks. I'm going to be showing some bulk buys that I've been doing online and stuff like that. And you can see, like, really, you could live anywhere. You could live out in the middle of nowhere. And there's still ways that you can source thrifted items and make money doing it. So,
and someone asked, do we have any Goodwills here? There's like one Goodwill in the whole state, and it's not a very good one. I'm not even sure if they actually have a retail outlet anymore. There used to be one in Providence. I haven't checked, but I don't believe there are any Goodwill stores here. There was one, and I don't think I think it's only for donation drop off. I don't think they actually have a retail store anymore.
I'm really curious where we might go with Diane and Trish, because I'm hoping that they're going to take us to like some cool thrift stores that we've never seen before or something. I don't know, because since they actually do that around here. So anyway, the first thing I'm going to show actually is, so the first Savers that we went to on Friday, I didn't find anything to sell myself, but I did find some cool t-shirts to flip at Buffalo Exchange. So if you haven't been following us recently, I've been doing that a lot. I've been doing that every week. I feel like I'm getting better and better at knowing what they want to take. And at least the Buffalo in my area in Vegas, and I'm sure this is probably true for most of them, their hottest item, their most desired item is men's t-shirts. That's the thing that they get in, they always are looking for, and they sell them a lot. So they're looking for those a lot. So that's basically what I get. So it's all stuff that's usually not vintage, that I know I can buy for $2-3 and then get like $6 credit. So I found some really cool ones here. Like, check it out. If this was my size, actually, I would just keep it. So it's just Terminator 2. You know, it's got the printed printed tag on it. So not vintage at all.
Probably came from like Walmart or Target or something like that.
But I paid like $4 for it. And so it's not going to be huge. I'll probably get like $6 credit. So it's like a couple bucks up, but I think it's a cool shirt. So I just got it. This one I think is awesome. Again, I believe printed label, but come on, Nightmare on Elm Street. Everybody loves their Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Yep. This one again, I paid probably the same amount, about $4 for it, and I'm hoping I get at least $6 credit. So again, not huge, but if I'm already out shopping,
but since Buffalo Exchange doesn't really have sales and you don't have like coupon codes and things like that, this helps you get a discount.
This is how I get a discount because I'm already going out, I'm already thrifting, and I'm already going to Buffalo Exchange to source. So if I can bring stuff in, it's essentially getting myself a discount. Is how I see it. Nirvana stuff always does well. This is just a Kurt Cobain again. Printed tag. Yeah, this one over here, real bitter about Nirvana basically putting an end to hairband music. They kind of killed that whole era.
Brenda asked, what does my hat have on it? This is a Rally Roots hat.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a cool Kurt Cobain t-shirt. And this one, man, it was priced at $2.49. And I got 20, I used one of my discounts. So 20% off. So I paid a couple bucks for this and I'll definitely get like at least $6 credit for that. So right there, triple my money. This one's a really awesome 80s Metallica reprint. And they love any of like the metal stuff, hard rock stuff at Buffalo Exchange. So this is the kind of stuff that they look for. A lot of music tees, particularly in like the hard rock, heavy metal kind of stuff.
Because all the girls that go to Coachella that couldn't name one song from that band or that album are wearing those with their ripped jeans. It's just it's as a fashion statement, not as fans of the band. That's that's the look.
Yeah. Jen says I bought the same t-shirt. Which one did you buy?
I think the
probably the Nightmare on Elm Street or what?
No, the white one, whatever that white one was.
Kurt Cobain. Yeah, I think it was Jen that said earlier that I saw it and I didn't have a chance to respond. Oh, she's I've exponentially increased her obsession with t-shirts, and she's bought like 100 of them in the last 2 months and still has to list them. List those t-shirts. Listen, t-shirts are easy. You get them all prepped. What I do is I get them all prepped. I spritz them with the wrinkle release. I water down the wrinkle release spray, the downy stuff from the store. I spritz them, throw them in the dryer. I do them like 10 at a time, 10 minutes. And then I hang them all up and you get them all ready to go. And then they're so fast. They're so easy to take pictures of. Front, back, tag. You know, that's all you got to do. Maybe if they're single stitch, then show the hem. And then you just only need 2 measurements. All you need is the length. And then
she says she knows. Stop.
Yeah, I'm here to harass you, Jen.
Alexa says, yes, we call those people posers. That's exactly right.
Whatever. If they want to buy shirts. So anyway, this is the Guns N' Roses. It's a 1991
Use Your Illusion tour.
Yep, and this is an awesome one. I don't know. This one I might have to I'll have to look and see about just selling this myself because I actually might be able to get $25 out of this or so. Melissa said I sell those kind of shirts for $25 to $35 on eBay. I mean, there's a lot of reprints on it. It depends on what it is, so we'll see. And then this is the last one I got to take to Buffalo. This one I think is hilarious. It is Diamond Joe, the Joe Biden riding a Harley. It says the president of Vice. And I think particularly because he is in the running for the next election, I'm hoping they'll take that. So we'll see. That's what I got.
It's a weird one.
It is weird. I like weird ones. Yeah, see, Jen, I got to turn them and burn them. Turn and burn.
So, like I said, I don't have a ton of super exciting stuff. Sorry, I'm going to kind of bore you guys. This might be my most boring haul yet, but
yeah, we don't have a lot of super exciting stuff, guys. Sorry.
So I
apologize.
I know. I picked up this vintage '90s ski hat, which I thought was pretty cool. It's got the tag on it, and I paid $8.99 for this. It's got this little, I don't know, Whoosy What's It on the top.
Whoosy What's It?
The brand is Merkley. It's just this nice. It was a higher end ski wear company. But it's new with tags and vintage 90s is in. So I'm probably going to sell this for like $30 or $40, but I did pay $8.99. It was getting like slim pickings. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll buy it. I don't have anything. There's that. I picked this up. This is new with tags. When in New England, I paid $7.50 new with tags for a Boston Red Sox. Let me get the tag out of the way. Red Sox sweater vest, kind of a subtle sweater vest, navy blue with the embroidery. Again, new with tags. I paid $8 for it. Sorry. I'll probably sell that for maybe 40, 45. Again, usually more than I would pay for something for that price, but like I said, slim pickings. Let's see. This was given to me by my friend Joe. This was his. So this is a vintage 90s.
Ooh, I don't even think I even looked at it very closely.
No, it's just like a NASCAR purple. Sorry, the sunlight behind us is making things wash out a little bit. It's like a purple with teal, blue, kind of windbreaker jacket. It's got this little NASCAR good wrench racing.
Nice, I like it.
Jacket. I probably would have picked this up if it was inexpensive enough somewhere else. But not too sure what I'm going to pay for. Sell it for, but maybe probably like $40 or so.
Very nice, very nice.
Let's see.
What you got? What you got?
This was actually one of my good finds. This I paid $8 for, and this is a brand that you should keep an eye out for if you're not familiar with it. It's Marimekko. Let me see if we can get this on the. Here we go. Made in Finland, and this is just a vintage, not vintage. It's just kind of a basic linen cotton blend dress, but this is an excellent brand name. If you happen to look at this brand, the new prices retail for several $100s. I will probably sell this for like $75, and I paid $8 for it. Yeah, Chris, the sunlight is coming through the rain. Trust me, there's tons of rain. It just so happens it's hitting the windows just the right way.
Well, it's not really sunlight. It's just
light, daylight.
The light outside. Yeah.
Okay, you can go and do a few more.
All right. So I'll show you the t-shirts I got to actually sell. This one, Cherokee Volunteer Society, but on the back it says Tar Creek Fish Tournament and 10K Toxic Tour, 1996. I just think it's kind of a cool graphic on the back. I don't know anything about this. I'll have to look it up and see what it actually is. But some sort of like fishing, I don't know what the 10K is. No idea, no clue. But just a cool vintage t-shirt, you know. Yeah,
Melissa, keep an eye out for that Marimekko. It's just a nice look at solds. Just look on eBay, put that brand in, and filter by solds and sold prices. It's a really good return. And it's not a brand a lot of people know, so it usually is not going to be priced through the roof somewhere else.
Anyway, I'll sell that for like $30. This is interesting because I just got a t-shirt like this maybe a month ago in Vegas, and it was also new with tags. It was a different design, but this is an Australian, it's Aboriginal art, and it's this Australian artist, Aboriginal artist, Danny Eastwood, and it's like he was the National Aboriginal Artist of the Year, 1992, 1993. And it's funny, I found one of these, again, it was a different design, different artwork on it, but it was new with tags in Vegas. I had it listed for maybe a couple of weeks, and it sold to somebody in Australia for $35.99. And so then I saw this here, and I went ahead and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. So I got another one, but it's just kind of cool, really colorful. I like it. This one has little fishies on it.
Yeah, Melissa, I don't generally look anything up when I'm at the store either. That just happened to be a brand that I did have in the back of my mind. And as you're learning, you're going to file that stuff away. And sooner, when you happen to see brand names, they're going to click. And again, I've told people from the beginning, when you're looking at clothing, especially, you want to do the feel test as you're walking down, like looking at dresses or dress shirts or things like that. If it feels cheap, it's probably cheap. If it feels like it's nice quality material, and then you're going to want to take a second look and look at the brand. And then if the brand is not what gets your attention, or if you don't recognize the brand, then you can look it up. If it feels like quality material, you're going to. The best way to learn this is to go to high-end department stores. Yeah. Not only just look at names, but go and feel nice, expensive materials. You're going to know the difference between something that's made at H&M and it's made out of rayon and polyester and nylon and cheap shit, and something that's made out of silk or made out of like a heavy knit or wool or like nice blended materials that you're going to have thicker double seams. It's going to something that's just going to wash and wear well, or dry clean and wear well. Sometimes one of the companies that tends to get me is when I'm walking and I do that feel thing, because you don't have time to look at every single thing on a rack. H&M, believe it or not, I just mentioned them as being a cheap company, but H&M has been making better quality clothing lately, and it's because I can tell by the way it feels, and I have to go and look at it and go, all right, I'm not buying that, it's H&M, but it feels good, so it fools me as I'm going through, and then I have to look at the tag. But that's the best way to learn. Learn by using your senses. You're going to have to feel things.
So Kara threw out a limerick challenge, and the Veranda Files, I think, did a pretty good one. There once was a girl in Pawtucket. Vicky hauled all her thrift in a bucket, but a girl named Katie snuck behind her all shady, and as for the bucket, Katie took it.
That's a pretty good attempt. Pretty good attempt. That was good.
That was a good execution right there. Attempt.
That was pretty good.
How rude.
The Marimekko dress, Brenda, is a size. I don't know, honey. Size 10. So 38 European, size 10 US. The other good way to tell is if something is quality is if it's made in Italy, made in France, made in Finland. It's made in a, UK or European country. Generally speaking, it's better quality than it's something that is made in China. But not all. It's one of those things. It's not an all or nothing rule. There are plenty of nice quality or very good quality brand names and items that are made in China as well. But when it's a country that you don't see something made a lot of in, take a second look at it.
Yeah. All right. So I got a couple of racing T-shirts. I don't know. I mean, this one not super exciting, but I was like, I'll be able to sell that for, $25-$30. But then it's always about what is just being put out, what's just coming out on the go out rack. But I'm always paying attention and waiting to see what might be on there. And this came out. I don't know anything about this particular driver, but it's all about the all over print. And this has, the sleeves have print on them, the back, the front. And so this is considered all over print.
It's ugly as heck, so somebody is going to love it.
Yeah, but the all over print racing jackets are really popular. I don't know. This is Harry Gant.
I don't know.
I'll have to look up.
Apparently, he's a school driver, so
yeah, I'll have to look up and see what his stuff has sold for in the past. But this is the type of stuff that I love to find. And man, some of the prices, like in Vegas, almost all the T-shirts are like sometimes you'll find stuff that's only priced like $2, but usually they're like $4.99. This was only priced at $1.99, so I got 20% off of that. So I was pretty excited. Single stitch, vintage T-shirt. So that was pretty good. So it smells. I need to wash that. It smells a little bit smoky.
So we've got Greg Dupage-Piquer in the house.
Dupage-Piquer.
By the way, before we left, we did get a little package in the mail from Greg that we were going to mention today. So I'm glad you popped in here. He sent we were literally just walking out the door, so we weren't expecting it. And then I was like, hey, I know that name as the return address. And he sent a package. It was like the dining and entertainment books. Is that what it is? It was like this dining and entertainment.
They're awesome. They have all the coupons to like go to different restaurants and
so he sent that to us for the Las Vegas area, and so thank you for that. That's really nice. I'm going to look into it a little bit more when we get home. That was really awesome of you.
We were eyeballing all of the buffets because there's a lot of coupons that are like buy one get one free and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's kind of all that fun stuff. It forces you to go to some place you might not have normally gone to.
It'll help for our like Saturday night date night.
I think that was what the intent was. It was a push to the Saturday night date night to make sure that we actually go out and try new stuff. So thanks, Greg. That was really nice. That was very thoughtful.
Cool. Very cool. All right, you got some stuff. I only have 2 more things, so then I'll show those.
Okay.
After you're done.
So I did pick up a vintage, kind of a Hawaiian dress. This is going to be it's made in the USA. It's going to be from the 60s, maybe 70s. Kind of like what we call like a cusper. A cusper, vintage 60s, 70s. It's super cute little sportswear dress in a Hawaiian print. With a little kick pleat hem. So I think I'm going to go 60s actually, because based on the types of buttons. So I paid my price on this. I paid $8 for this. I'll probably sell it for about 50 or 60. It'll probably go on Etsy. I'll put it on both, but generally speaking, my vintage is selling faster on Etsy and for more than it is on eBay. So
yeah, it's the Las Vegas Advisor subscription. We're definitely going to be using that. Plus, there's like slot play for like a lot of the casinos.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch. It came with a letter that we have to call to activate something. Yeah.
So we will be taking full advantage of that, Greg. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. That was really sweet of you. Okay, so this was 50% off. This was I just took a chance on this. I didn't really look it up. I paid $10 for it. Kind of just
some more hockey.
It's a hockey jersey, but it's a big, heavy embroidered Air Force Air Force jersey. Yeah, and it's got a little spot on the front that I'm pretty sure I can get out. And it's got that whole like, vintage jersey look on it. So I have no idea what I'm going to sell that for. Maybe 50, maybe 60. I don't know.
So Brenda wants to know if it's hard to join Etsy. No, not at all. Not at all. You don't need to have like a store subscription or anything like that. They do have something that's sort of like the eBay store subscription, but as it is right now, it doesn't offer you anything that's really worth spending a monthly amount on. It's not like you pay a monthly amount and then you get free listings. It doesn't work like that, like how eBay does right now. So you don't need to join anything like that. You can create a storefront for free, which is what
it's free.
I have. It's not a store really. It's just their storefront.
I have 1,000 listings on Etsy, and
it's really pretty simple.
You pay 20 cents, and your listing is up for 4 months. So it's 5 cents a month for a listing.
Yeah,
super easy.
Fees are lower than eBay, so
yeah. So this is another vintage dress. I paid $8 for this. This one is definitely a 70s kind of a.
Very nice.
V-neck. It's very tiny.
Fancy.
It's very tiny. It's a long dress. So it's very tiny. Nice, bright vintage paisley. It's funny because this is where we talk about vintage sizing, people. So this is a size 11, according to this tag here. And if this would fit a size 3 US right now, I'd be shocked.
Pretty small.
So vintage sizing is very, very different. So when I list this, I will put in the listing, I'm going to do some measurements, and I'll put in the title, I would put that it's a small. And then I would put in the listing with the description, I would put it's a vintage size 11 based on the tag, but here are all the measurements below. It's as if it's a modern sized small, because a woman that's searching for a size 11 is never going to fit in this dress, but someone searching for a size small will. So what the tag says is not.
Well, that's like what I do like with t-shirts. A lot of times vintage t-shirts will be super small. Like a large or an extra large is much smaller than what modern ones are. Or then you fast forward to like the 90s, the mid 90s, where baggy and bulky was really popular. And like a large or an extra large would be huge. And so what I'll usually say is in my condition description, the little box, I'll say that it's a very slim vintage fit. And then I'll tell them to see the measurements for details. Because I just want to call attention to the fact that like, it's not going to be your typical medium or whatever.
So let's see. Kara asked, what would you call that gathering at the waist? And this it would be called ruching. So it's ruching,
something like that.
Yeah, there might be a T in there, but I think it's ruching. Like so, it'd be ruching. It's just gathered, and it's kind of it's not a full skirt, so it's kind of a surplus top is how they call it. It's spelled like surplice, surplice, metal zipper. One up the back, hidden metal zipper.
Hey, Sherry. Yeah, no, there's no Dutch Brothers anywhere in the state. I don't know if there's any on the East Coast at all. So we did Duncan, but she's excited to be able to do Duncan. But I have discovered, first of all, Rhode Island is doing its part in destroying the environment. Not only do you get your plastic cup, but they put it in styrofoam for you.
It's called a hot cup. They put it in the hot cup. The condensation keeps it.
Sure, great. Anyway. But what I have discovered, Sherry, since I can't get my Dutch Brothers, when I do go to Dunkin', if I get the cold brew with an extra espresso shot, and then I actually put my own creamer in it because they go too crazy with the cream and sugar, it actually is pretty tasty. Like it's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it from Dunkin' Donuts, so I don't mind it.
Bye, Jen. Jen's going to get her stuff ready for her daughter's birthday.
She's probably going to go get those T-shirts listed, right? Come on, Jen.
All right, so I have 3 more things. I'm gonna 4 more things. I'm gonna show those, and then you can show your last, and then we're done. Okay. So this is actually a brand that I will occasionally pick up. I actually almost always pick it up if it's reasonably priced. I did pay a little bit more than I normally would here, again because the pickings were slim. But it's a brand called Boden. Boden. It's a women's clothing brand, and I picked this up because this is just a really, really, it's just a pretty dress, a pretty print, pretty knit dress. I paid about $10 for this. It's I'll flip it for about 40. So again, not quite the margins that I prefer, but still a good flip.
What do you think about vintage ties? Have you sold any?
I don't care to source ties. There's not enough ROI. The only ties that I will flip are Hermes, or sometimes you find vintage Lily Pulitzer. I have sold vintage Versace. It has to be
There
it has to be super high end for me to bother.
Here's the thing. There are ties that sell, and there are people who do well selling ties. But I mean, I don't find it interesting. I don't think you find it interesting, and it's really, it's not something that I really care to like try to learn about.
I look, but I do know that for the most part, ties are a hard sell, and and if you're going to get more than $15 to $20 for them, there's very few brands that you'll get more than that for. Mm-hmm. Even though ties are expensive, if you're going to go to a store and buy a tie, even if you're buying a cheap JCPenney brand tie, you're lucky if you can get a halfway decent tie for $30. Mm-hmm. They don't have good resale value. So unless you're buying a designer brand, like I said, Versace or Mez or like vintage Lily Pulitzer, if you look at ties and look at solds, look at, highest to lowest undersolds and store it that way, you'll find. You're not going to find a whole heck of a lot. For the most part, they're very common. They're slow sellers, and you're going to get $5 to $10 for them. For me, it's not really worth my time.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is that her average sale price is like over $40. Mine is over $50 usually. And so for us, a lot of times it depends on what it is. But if it's not something that we're really that into, and it's going to have a lower resale price, we just don't do it. But we know that that's not everybody's model. So for you, it might be if you get them for $15 a piece, that might make you very happy.
Noelle just said she got a huge bag for free from Wade's garage sale. Okay, so I didn't know Wade had a garage sale. I hope he did well. But if you got them for free, then what you might want to do is lot them. So if you're willing to lot the ties, based on maybe like a color scheme, or maybe a lot of 5 striped ties, or
styles,
or by brands, or anything like that, then if you get them for free and you can lot them and you can do 5 ties for $30, then great. You're still going to ship them first class. And somebody that's looking for ties, maybe they started a new job and they suddenly need ties, they're going to 5 ties for $30 is fantastic. Yeah. Pass up the ties that you want to pass up are the Looney Tunes, all those stupid character ties. They don't sell. They're sold everywhere. They're sold at Walmart. Everybody bought their dad one of those for the past 30 years. Dad hung it in his closet, wore it once to make you happy, and then it's in the garage sale 20 years later. Nobody wants them. They have 0 resale value. The people buy them because they're like, oh, my dad loves, Woody Woodpecker, so I'm going to buy him a tie. They have 0 resale value. You can maybe get $3 to $5 out of them. Super long tail. It's just not worth your time for the most part.
Or as Chris says, puberty long tail
instead of Uber. Yeah, that was a nice autocorrect. Santa ties, nah. Again, unless it's something great. Yeah, Psycho Bunny is anything in that brand. That's true. That doesn't matter if it's a tie or not. Anything Psycho Bunny is worth reselling. But there's very few brands of ties that are going to resell well. It's got to be a high end. But it's like I said, if it's like Versace or Hermes or anything like, you're going to pick up anything by that brand. Doesn't matter whether it's a tie or not. So it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I've got just 3 more. Okay. This is just a brand. This is an Anthropologie brand called Tabitha. It's one of the Anthropologie brands. I paid about $10 for this dress. Just, again, a nice summer dress. It's really cute. Somebody probably paid $200 for it. I paid $10. I'll sell it for $40, $45 maybe. And then these are my last 2 things. This I need to have dry cleaned because it's got a lot.
Best thing, right?
This is my best thing, I think, that I found, which is not even that fantastic, but yeah,
whatever. The thing is, we're not here to source. And so we mostly just hit the thrift stores because that's what we do and we like it. So it's not, had we been coming here just to source, we would be very disappointed.
Right. I paid $10 for this. It's got a lot of schmutz on it. Needs to be cleaned, but it is Ralph Lauren Sport. So it is a vintage kind of a navy blazer with the big crest on it. You can see embroidered crest. Really nice. It's all embroidered. And the gold buttons.
I like the lining on it, or you call it piping.
And then it has, so it's like a brushed cotton, like a cotton twill. It's like a thick cotton twill. And then it has, I guess you'd probably call this like a gross gain ribbon trim on it, contrast trim, but they're both navy. It's just 2 different fabrics. I'll probably sell this for like $75 to $100. This whole nautical thing has never really gone out of style, but it's actually really in style now, especially because of the whole yacht rock. And it's more of a thing than usual. So this with a pair of jeans or a pair of white pants or even a pair of really cool ripped jeans is going to look great with a t-shirt underneath it. So it's super fashionable. I paid about $10. I think I'll sell it for $75 to $100. That was my favorite find.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked this up for $8.99.
This is like your one Salvation Army.
This is my one Salvation Army buy.
I didn't buy anything at Salvation Army. I completely struck out.
Part of me feels like this is Ralph Lauren, but there are no tags in it, so I'm never really going to know. I'm going to try to do a little search, but it's super well made, and it feels to me like it's very nice quality. I thought it could have been handmade, but it's too well done to have been handmade.
If it is Ralph Lauren, you should be able to find the exact same thing
somewhere.
Because you can, I mean, with the stripes down the side.
Can I just show what it is first?
Yes, ma'am. Gosh, she's so bitchy.
It's a full zip, big wool sweater. So the back has the flag, and it has the flag on one arm, and then the stripe down the other arm. It just screams Ralph Lauren to me, but there are no tags. The tags have been cut out. And then it's a full zip down the front. And again, it's got the repeat pattern on the front. But it's really well-made wool. I need to take a sweater shaver to it. It's like super pilly. But I think once I spend a half an hour with a sweater shaver, it's probably $100 sweater. If it's handmade, it was really, really, really well done. It's like my grandma made that. The
great thing about Ralph Lauren, though, is that with those sweaters and stuff like that, if that is what it is, you'll definitely be able to find the same one.
Yeah.
And if you find the same one, it's going to be very obvious that it's the same. So I think you'll be fine.
And that's it. That's pretty much it. Grandma cheap. No
I've
dolls.
got more.
Oh yeah, you have. Yeah, I said that's for me. I didn't get any dolls. I don't want to ship anything home. So we did fly Southwest. So we each have an extra suitcase. So that's why we're just doing clothing so that we can, get it home.
It's really, really easy. So I just have two more things. So we went to Savers yesterday, a different Savers, and I actually found that's where I actually found stuff that I'm going to sell. And I was really surprised to find these two items. So this one, not super crazy, but it is it like Velcro? I don't even know what that's all about.
Hook and loop.
Sorry. Anyway, this is a vintage 90s Tommy jeans hoodie sweatshirt, zip up hoodie. But it's all embroidered. It says Tommy jeans. It does have, I'll show you, this is the
big flag tag.
Big flag tag. So this is definitely vintage 90s Tommy jeans. It was $12.99 and I had 20% off. But it's just really cool. And all these little details, like it's got the pole. This is, I don't know why it Velcros, but that's pretty cool. It's got the flag on the sleeve, and you can see it on the back as well. That's all embroidered. I mean, I'll probably sell it for like $50 because it's just a hoodie and it's Tommy jeans, but it's still pretty cool. Not a bad price. But my favorite thing I got.
So Noelle's had some pretty good luck. She went to a couple of garage sales. She said 1972 Ouija board for $2. That's a nice find for a vintage Ouija board. And then I saw further up she had gotten a vintage massager, or as Angie calls it, the teeth rattler. That'll sell. That'll sell.
All right, guys.
People like their vintage vibrators. I don't know what it is, but they like them.
This is my best find of the whole trip, and this is a vintage Chaps Ralph Lauren sweatshirt, and love the color block, all the different little colored panels on it, and then this is all embroidered. Look at that! It's like this amazing embroidery. With the crest and everything. Now, the thing about the Chaps brand is that has been sold off in the last, I don't even know when, but if you notice, if you find anything Chaps, what company is it? Kohl's?
Kohl's sells Chaps now, and now it's crap. It's just department store inexpensive junk. But before it was sold, it was a division of Ralph Lauren, and it was a higher end and better made, and is more desirable in the vintage.
Yep. So when you see it and it actually says Ralph Lauren on it, it's going to sell for more. And so this is just a really cool sweatshirt. And again, it's like the embroidery is really cool on it. So I should definitely be able to sell this for like about $75, $80. I think. I just think it's really cool. So we'll see. But it was priced at $9.49. I got 20% off of that. So not a bad price. But that's probably my favorite thing that I got this whole time. And until we go tomorrow. Maybe we'll find something really cool. I don't know.
So Misty says she paid $50 for some dolls and sold for $800. I still have about $15 left from my crazy doll score a couple of months ago, and I'm well up over $600 or $700 now on those dolls.
And you spent a total like $100, right? Wasn't it 40 and then 60 or 60 and then 40?
I spent a total of $100 on all of them. Yeah.
So not too shabby.
I would have to add it all up, but I haven't looked lately. But yeah, well up over $600 or $700 on. I sold another 4 or 5 over the last week. I'm taking lowball offers on most of them. Like I said, they're down to I paid $1 or $2 a piece, and I'm just trying to now I'm trying to blow them out. I made my money on the good ones right away.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So yeah, this is definitely a shorter show, but we've got a cook-in. Was supposed to be a cookout, a cook-in that we got to be going to here in the next hour, and so we still got to go to the liquor store, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike Vegas, you can't go to CVS and grab a 6-pack. We have to go to specific liquor stores here, and they're only open from noon on Sundays. So we couldn't go earlier this morning. We've got to go out and grab some ice and get some booze to bring to the party, and that's it. We got to go about half an hour away to the party.
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing that today. So yeah. Anyway, guys, hope you guys have a
Mother's
good Sunday.
Day to all of you moms out there. Thank you for the Happy Mother's Day wishes. My
call
daughter call your mom. My daughter is in town, so I will be. I got to spend yesterday with her and spending today with her as well. So this is the first time I get to spend my Mother's Day with my daughter in several years. So it's been a good weekend already.
Yep. Awesome. All right, guys, we will talk to you later, and we'll be back on Wednesday for a regular Wednesday show at a regular time.
Same bat
back
time,
in Vegas.
Same bat channel.
Pretty much. But yeah, have a good weekend. Have a good Mother's Day. Bye.
Bye, guys.